everybody. This is Cardinal Rethwisch, the Cardinal Cowboy. We are live today in Old Booter Park, Fenton, Missouri. Lower Booter, Dad. I have with me esteemed, world-renowned, world-famous mentor, educator, guru. He's also my dad, Braxton Rethwisch. So, Braxton, how you doing today here at Booter Park?
Doing very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Here we are. We're with Braxton Rethwisch here. We're at Booter Park. This is the Cardinal Cowboy show. Hope everybody's enjoying. We were chatting a little bit while the music played there. And we're doing the Cardinal Cowboy show live from Lower Booter Park. We used to shoot rockets over here, didn't we?
And fly planes.
And fly planes. I have with me world famous Braxton Rethwisch, educator, mentor, guru, and just an all around helpful guy who's helped hundreds, well, I guess thousands of kids get an education, go to college. Did you enjoy your career over 50 years as being an admissions counselor?
It was a good run.
It was a good run. What did you enjoy most about what you did to help kids go to school?
I got to know them and see what motivated them, and I got to watch them grow.
So who do you think you helped the most? Was it kids that wanted to go to school to become teachers, doctors, lawyers?
Or kids that needed something for the next step of their life. And some of them didn't know what they were going to do next, but they wanted to have a better life than they saw in front of them.
And so how many kids do you think, when it came down to it, they were kind of undecided and then later on became fairly well-known professionals who really had an impact on our little planet? Did that happen at a fairly high level?
It happened often.
So what did you enjoy most about that?
Seeing them change and see them grow and develop and move into a profession.
So can you give me a story about somebody you recall that was a student, and when they got started, kind of just getting going, they didn't have much direction, but by the time they'd been at Central Methodist for a little while, and then they graduated and turned into productive leaders in our community? Give me an example of somebody you recall. You've told me a few stories.
Well, I can think of a young man from down around the Lead Belt area who, my first conversation with his counselor said, I want you to meet his caseworker first. Well, that set off a caution light in my mind. He probably needed a lot of help.
They've been at Central Methodist for a little while. And so what kind of help did you help him go to school? Did he go to school there?
Yeah, I gave him some direction, some encouragement. He accepted it very well.
What did he end up turning into professionally?
He is a manager at a company down in that area. And the first year he worked, he was voted the teacher of the year in his school district.
Really?
Yeah.
So he became a teacher?
And a coach, and he was a hard worker.
Hard worker, too. Well, I guess that kind of comes along with it if you're going to get that college degree, right?
It did for him.
How many kids do you think over your career, and we're down here, by the way, to hear some background noise. We are down here at Booter Park where we saw the boys over here. They got done practicing a little bit earlier. The girls are practicing right over here. And we'll talk a little bit about baseball and the impact that it had on my life. And most people realize that, but that was mostly because of this guy. So, Dad, of the kids that to reiterate the question I think I was asking there, how many of these kids do you feel like you had an impact with that really may not have gone the direction in a positive way had they not had Central Methodist and somebody like yourself saying, hey, you can do this? You can go to school. You can get educated to become a professional and an expert. Would you guess there was a dozen, 1,000? How many kids do you think?
Well, I'd hate to put a number on it, but maybe it was 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10 that you said otherwise they were going off and doing something, but now they are really big contributors to our community.
Yes, sir.
So what of the other students you know that graduated from Central Methodist, what other students do you recall now are relatively well-known leaders or have had big impacts in our community?
Well, I can think of one in particular who his counselor, I'll never forget what I told her, where I worked and what I did. She said, "I've got a young man in mind for you." And she brought him down to the office, and boy, he is a huge influence on the young people in the Cincinnati area. He runs a big youth ministry at his church there in Cincinnati.
So he graduated from Central thanks to your direction, and now he's a big youth supporter in Cincinnati.
That's right.
So what's he doing? What kind of youth support does he do?
Well, he has this youth group, and it's an organization at this church where he works, and this young man just has success written all over him. He did very well in school. He was drum major of the band, president of his fraternity, and he just put a lot of those skills he acquired at Central to work to build this huge organization in the Cincinnati area.
You told me some stories about some other kids that came through the school that then ended up becoming state police officers, sheriffs.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me some more stories about some of those people?
Well, there was a young man who ended up being a highway patrolman, and now he runs an academy for training police officers, not in the Minneapolis area, but down around Farmington.
And so he helps that community as a police official in the Farmington area?
Well, he's director of a training program for police officers. He was an officer in the Air Force right after he got out of college.
And now he's gone on to be a leader down there in the community down there.
That's correct.
Do you think you had an impact on his life?
I think so.
Well, as I understand it, and I keep hearing from people, because a lot of people do recognize me as your son, the Cardinal Cowboy, right? And they start to say, you know, I've got to tell you a story about Braxton, about your dad. And it's always somebody who says, you know, he gave me a chance, he believed in me, he encouraged me, and I decided to go to college because of him. So I think a lot of people owe a big thanks to you for a little guidance, a little encouragement. Do you feel like you've done a little bit of that?
Well, I think I saw something in some of these people that they didn't even know they had in them. And I did try to encourage them to work to their fullest and be a positive influence.
Well, I would argue that there are a lot of people that you've helped, and a lot of people give you credit for that. By now, you're kind of known for a bunch of scholarships that have been put in your name. Can you talk about some of those scholarships and what that meant to you to have these scholarships named after you?
Well, that is money that people gave And then they just associated my name with it, which was a real honor.
So when they decided to, this money comes in and then it gets donated in your name, that's kind of an honor. Obviously they're saying, hey, we want this to be dedicated. Somebody else is donating the money, but we want it to go in the name of Braxton Rethwisch because he helped so much.
That's the way it worked.
And can you tell me how many scholarships there are now that are in your name?
Well, there are 5 at the Missouri level, and there are 2 through the college directly.
And so every year there's 5. So that's a total of 7, you're saying?
That's correct.
So you're saying every year there are 7 kids who now get a scholarship to help them pay for school because of the work you've done and that people have decided to dedicate on your behalf. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to sum it up, I think.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here with world-renowned Braxton Rethwisch. I like to brag about my dad, but it's hard to brag about some people unless they've really accomplished a lot. And I can argue that he certainly has done quite a bit to help a lot of people. And a lot of people would argue that, you know, you don't want to highlight certain people just because other people become a little jealous or take shots. But other times I say, you know, you've got to highlight these people, and not because they need to be highlighted, but because that helps to encourage other people after they see what people have accomplished to maybe go off and accomplish similar things. That's what I think the real motivation behind somebody sees you get an award. I know I've seen other people get awards, and that inspired me to go out and work harder, and maybe I can accomplish the same things. And I think it becomes a matter of encouraging people. Would you agree that this might help to motivate some people?
Well, I hope so.
So I'm going to share with you guys a couple still shots here. We've got a here. If you just do a search, I'm going to put this up on the screen right now. Do a search for Braxton Rethwisch. I just did a capture of it, but you can see on the screen. Just do a search for Braxton Rethwisch. I was just trying to find an image for him, and so this is just the first 5 or 6 entries, but the first 4 or 5 of them are.
Don't go to police records when you do that.
I've checked out your police record. The only person with anything on the police record with the name Rethwisch is me, and that was because of the drunk driver that hit me. But it says Braxton Rethwisch Scholarship, Mo ACAC, Braxton Rethwisch Scholarship Central, Braxton Rethwisch Scholarship Holden R3 School District, Braxton Rethwisch Scholarship Ferguson Floreston School District, Braxton Rethwisch Regional Director of Missions, Central Methodist. You've got a lot of scholarships attached to your name here, and it looks like you've made an impact on a lot of people. Would you agree with that?
Well, it depends on what they did with the scholarship.
I would agree with that. Well, Dad, I just wanted to take a few minutes to put you on camera and share everybody a little bit about somebody who's been a big influence in my life and somebody who's helped to impact me. And now a lot of people may understand why I feel like after going through such a traumatic accident as my coma and everything I went through, but because I came through it with the help of my mother and my father, and a lot of friends and a lot of doctors, that I really never gave up on life. I decided I was going to go conquer every goal I ever set for myself anyway, even after what they said I couldn't do. And I also want to give back to encourage as many other kids. And I was inspired by this guy right here, Braxton Rethwisch, to do that.
Well, I would just say that, Carter, you have been quite an inspiration to me. You're never give up, never say no attitude has been a real inspiration. As somebody listening can probably tell, I had some after effects of the stroke that I had, one of which was difficulty with speech. But I'm still trying to get better, not only in speech, but at getting around. Mobility has become a real issue for me.
Well, I think it's important that you have somebody on your side. I know Mom has been there all the time to help take care of you. There's an old Model T, Dad. Check that out. I know you'll like that. We'll have to get a shot of those guys.
One thing that's older than I am.
One thing that's older than you are, right? Your Social Security number. What was your Social Security number?
Number 8. I had a single-digit Social Security.
Single-digit Social Security number. one of my dad's favorite jokes about how old he is and how long he's been around on this little planet helping people. But we kind of runs in the family, and I hope that it runs in our community and our humanity, and that is to help people, encourage people. And you do that not so much, I thought it was always because you were trying to help people, but I found out the reciprocal of that is that you get so much in return, and it makes you happy, and it keeps you to have a happy existence on this planet.
Well, that's true. It's been a good run, but I didn't do it to get recognition or to get accolades. It's just part of my DNA to see somebody that needs a little bit of encouragement. And that doesn't cost anything to provide.
That's a great way to say it. A little bit of encouragement, and it doesn't cost anything to provide. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we finish up here doing our live stream, I'm going to show one more picture of BR, as my mom calls him, Braxton Rethwisch. And very fortunate to have this guy as my mentor for life. A lot of people, when they hear me talk about, I talk to my mentor. It's because I was talking to this guy right here, and he's been a primary mentor for me for all of my life, and it's helped really impact my life, and hopefully help me to help other people to do what we want to do to make the world a little better place. Take a look here one more time. This is the MOACAC Braxton Rethwisch Scholarship, and this is just one of a few. But if you'd like to donate or support, we encourage you to do so. But Braxton's been around for a long time doing that, and we encourage other people to do the same so that we can help make this world a better place. What do you think about that idea, Dad?
I think that's great, and I appreciate it. And they can do that by contacting Dr. Bill Sheehan, Sheehan, at Central Methodist University, Fayette, Missouri.
That's right. Bill's back at Central now, helping to build things there up again.
He sure is. He's a wonderful guy, and everything about Bill is good.
Bill Sheehan, everybody. Central Methodist University, or a great college or school in your area. We encourage everybody to become educated, become knowledgeable, become informed, because that's how you become happy. And you can help other people then better when you have the information. Would you agree with that, Dad?
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you guys tuning in for this little quick rendition here at the ballpark. I used to practice a little bit, shot a lot of rockets down here, all kinds of fun stuff my dad helped to encourage me to do to learn about this little planet, become intrigued, and hopefully help a few people along the way. Right, BR?
Right. This is a great place. It's a well-kept secret, Booter Park, St. Louis County. It's one of the county parks.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My dad, Braxton Rethwisch. I like to call him Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll have more live fun coming from the Cardinal Cowboys fan page. Other excitement, other good things going on in the community. I feel like it wouldn't be a full show if I had these in my pocket. We did a show the other day and people were intrigued, and we talked a little bit about these, but these symbolize the fun and what it's like to be a champion in the great city that we live in. So we'll see y'all soon.
I don't think those will show up.
We do enough to where they can tell what we're doing, all right? Should I grab the trophy for everybody real quick? We kept
Explain what those are, what they represent.
Yeah. It just so happens I happen to have a World Series trophy, Cardinal Cowboy version in my car. So we always want to bring a little bit of the excitement, a little fun. These are the World Series replica rings, including the Blues Stanley Cup Championship. And Dad, what is this?
I think that depicts the World Series championships the Cardinals have won. That's what have you got on there? 11. So.
Well, there are 30 flags. Why are there 30 flags?
Probably one for each team, and I think they post those every year.
You got it. One for each team. How many of these do the Cardinals have? World Series championships, we should say at least, right?
11.
11 World Series championship trophies. Championships, we should say. They only got 3 trophies because they didn't start doing the trophies until 1967. Or so do they have 4.
I'm not sure.
Right, but I know it's 82, 6, and 11. And they might have had the very first one, I think, back in 1967, I think was when that was. So if you count, that's 4, I think, right? We'll have to look that up and
Does
double check.
26 sound more like it? 26.
27?
The year of their championship.
Oh, well, they go back as far as, yeah, the first one was back in the 20s. I believe it's 26. It's on the ring here. I'll read it off to people periodically. But yeah, they do have 11 World Series championships. And that's what we strive to be, champions, right, Dad?
Nobody remembers who finished second.
Nobody remembers who finished second place. Great point. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our little live stream. We'll see you soon. Go Cardinals. We made it through this stuff. We're going to get it going. Giddy up.